I'm with Amit Barak from Jerusalemite Initiative. Now, Amit, what is Jerusalemite Initiative?
Our goal is to bring the Christians in Jerusalem, the Arabic-speaking Christians in Jerusalem, closer to the Israeli society, closer to the state of Israel, to give them the opportunity to know Israel better, to know the institutions, to know the society, to know everything actually, and to make them understand they can choose their future to be a better one with Israel.
And when were you started and why were you started?
We started in Jerusalem in 2018, 2 years ago, but actually I'm coming with this background of building bridges between Jews and Christians in Israel and abroad, but I began with working in 2012 with Father Gabriel Nadav from Nazareth. He was leading at that time for 5 years the Christian Empowerment Council, also known as the Israeli Christian Recruitment Forum, and it was an organization, a movement actually of Israeli Christians, Arabic-speaking Christians, who stood up for the first time in public and called the Christians in Israel to volunteer to the IDF, to volunteer to national service, and to integrate into the Israeli society in all aspects, but as part of the community, as representative of the Christian community, not only as individuals, because you can see Christian in Israel as individuals, they are integrated. You have the judges in the Supreme Court, you have directors of hospitals, you have everything, but not as a collective that identify himself as Israeli and wants to give hand, to contribute, to build Israel, to build the Israeli society together with the Jews, with the majority, together with the Druze and with other minorities. And that's where I come from. And I met a guy in Jerusalem, a Christian from the Christian quarter in the old city of Jerusalem. And we spoke and we decided that we need to do something in Jerusalem with the Christians of Jerusalem as well. There are 13,000 Arabic-speaking Christians in Jerusalem, and no one never did anything to open the doors for them as an organization, as something organized. And we decided that we are going to take this challenge because it's really a challenge.
So there was a need for an organization like this?
We found out there was a need. We thought so, and when we began with our activities, we found out that there was really a need for this kind of an organization. Many of the Christians we met, they wanted to do this step, but they were waiting for someone who come and show them the way, will help them with everything around.
Is there a lot of fear, particularly amongst the Arab community, about associating themselves with Israel?
Yes, there's a lot of fear in Jerusalem, of course, because every Christian family in Jerusalem, they have a family also in Bethlehem, Bejala, Ramallah. So they are also afraid from the neighbors here in Jerusalem, but also they're afraid for their families under the Palestinian Authority. In other parts of Israel, the situation is better than the Christians in Jerusalem.
Do you bring many denominations together?
Yeah, we are open for all denominations. We are not only working with Greek Orthodox or with Catholics or with Protestants, with all of them. For example, we have a main project which is Hebrew course. We provide free Hebrew courses for Christians here to learn or to improve their Hebrew, because many of them don't learn Hebrew at schools. Not in every school they teach Hebrew because of politics. And also, if they teach, not all of them are, learning actually. And we provide the opportunity to learn Hebrew. So in the courses we have for different Christians from different churches, different denominations. We have monks, we have female, male, different ages from 15 to 50. We are open for everyone.
So even though people are living in the land, even language is a barrier because they speak different languages?
Of course, the language is the barrier, the identity is a barrier. So we are trying to build bridges for all of the barriers.
Have Arabs found it difficult finding their place here in the land?
I think Christians in Israel, they have, I wouldn't say identity problems, but the identity is not clear when I speak about the general Christians in Israel. One will say he's Israeli Christian, other will say Arab Christian, Palestinian Christian, Israeli Arab, Aramean Christian, and you can hear different types of identity from the Christians here. And with the Christians in Jerusalem, it's even worse, because Jerusalem is in the heart of the politics here. And of course, where the most of them live in the Arab neighborhood and they have families in the Palestinian Authority, the identity which they are being taught for all their life is that they are Arabs and Palestinian, of course. And therefore, this is also a barrier, because when they want to get into the Israeli society, but they don't feel part of the Israeli society because they've been told that they are not Israelis, they've been told they are Palestinian. Some of them actually believe so, some of them not. We want to give the opportunity for everyone. We had in our Hebrew course, most of the Christians, they want to see the Israeli society. We had also Christians that they said we are Palestinians. We want to learn Hebrew, but we are Palestinians. But we want to give, again, the people the opportunity to learn and to meet Israelis also and to help them in many things. And we hope that they will understand that they should be part of the Israeli society and they should integrate. And if there's what to repair, and no one and no place and no country is perfect, they will do it together with the Jews, together with the other part of the Israeli society.
Do Arab Christians have a good relationship with Messianic believers?
It's a good question. I must say that I'm not a Messianic Jew. I know the Messianic community, but I'm not part of them. So I see some of mainly evangelical Baptist Christians here that they have connections, but other Christians, most of the Christians are Greek Catholic and Greek Orthodox. No, they don't have any connections with the Messianic Jews in Israel. They don't.
Is Israel a safe place for Christians here in the land, considering what's happening all around with their neighbors?
Yes, of course. When I spoke about Father Gabriel Nadaf, when he began his mission in 2012, he came out in public with some other Christians in the Galilee, in Nazareth, and they said, it's about time for us to speak, because look what's happening to our brothers and sisters in the Middle East, the genocide in Iraq and Syria, the persecution in Egypt, in the Palestinian Authority. They said it, and they said it's about time that we say Israel is our homeland, Israel is our home, Israel is our place, and this is the safest place for Christians in the Middle East. We are thriving here, we have freedom, we have secure, and we need to be part of it.
What programs do you run as an organization?
So we run the Hebrew course. That's the main programs in the last year. We already getting into the third course. We began last year, but now we are going to shift it to Zoom online course. Yes,
because of the virus.
Yes, yeah. Because of the virus, and it's less effective, I think, but that's the best we can do now, like everyone else. And we provide also like a help desk. If someone comes with personal problems, if he needs some help with the authorities in Israel, we are trying to help them, we are trying to teach. We are helping the young Christian to write CV in order to get better jobs in Israel. We are also providing some lectures about the history of Israel, history of the land of Israel. Education, mostly education and social help, let's say.
And just recently, Jews and Christians have been coming together to help Bethlehem because of the coronavirus. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when it's all began, actually, we saw what happened with the hotel in I think it was in Bejala, with the lockdown in Bethlehem, and we organized donation from Shai Fund, and we bought some products, some food, some medical products. We provided them to the hotel. We believe it's part of building bridges, and we as an organization, as Jerusalem-based organization of Christians and Jews, helping to Christians in Bejala, in Bethlehem, I think this is the way it should be. We didn't ask if they are pro-Israelis, what they think about Israel. We just did what we think is right to do.
Are you making a difference in the community?
I think so. We are still, doing the first steps. And it's not easy to reach the community because we cannot do it inside the churches, we cannot do it inside the school, because once you are with Israel, it's considered the politics, and people, they're also afraid those who support you. But step by step, and I see sometimes, on the social media, social network, when sometimes we do steps and I see that we have a lot of negative comments, so then I understand that we are doing something that influence and effective. I know that we are on the right way when we have the other side reaction.
Why do you do what you do?
Because I believe as an Israeli, as a Zionist, I believe that if we want strong society, a strong state, we have to give place for everyone who lives here, who accept that Israel is his state and is ready to build and repair together with me. If someone wants to do it, I will help him. I will give my hand to take him with me. That's what I believe. And this is when I speak about Israel. And when I speak in general, we really can see in the last years that the relations between Jews and Christians all over the world are getting better. And it's also very important for me. I host pastors in my home for a Shabbat dinner and doing my small efforts for this phenomenon.
And what's your prayer finally for the organization for the future?
I pray that the organization will grow, that we can reach many of the Christians in Israel, that we can raise awareness among Jews in Israel also to open their hearts and to accept the Christians and also other minorities and to build together. So I hope we will become a bigger organization. We can offer much more efforts and much more activities. We have a big educational plan, and I hope we will run it in the future. We will get to more and more Christians in Jerusalem, and that's also will bring us to build bridges with Christians around. I can say that when the situation with Turkey in northeastern Syria began, we held a demonstration here in Israel with other organizations, with other Jewish organizations in Jerusalem, in Paris Square. And we were the only Christian Jewish organization who also raised the voice for the Christian in northeastern Syria. And since then, we have very good contacts with Syria, with Christians in Syria, and with the organization in Europe. And we have relations with Christians from Iraq, in Spain, in the States, and this is what we are also building.
What's your website for people who'd like to know more?
Our website is Jerusalemite Initiative.org.
Okay, Amit, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.